We are live on Facebook. Woo! We did it. Perseverance. Yes.
Perseverance. Yes.
Zoom issues. Yes. I tell you, I think it was but we're back. It was a difference in communications from one laptop to the platform. But we did it. We did it, and we're here. Welcome everybody, because this is so exciting.
Welcome.
Okay, welcome to Can We Chat Here. My name is Sheila Abram, and I'm coming to you from California. And I got Miss Maxine Jones.
And my name is Maxine, and I'm coming all the way from the East Coast in New York. So welcome, Facebook friends, to Can We Chat Here? And Can We Chat Here is about our dreams, our goals, our journeys, and our stories. And this week's topic is about business partners who are husband and wife in network marketing. We are just so excited. So, Ms. Abram, I know you are going to have Dr. Patrice and Lady Lisa.
Yes.
Their own.
Their bio and their intro is so extensive, and it is so completely impressive. I couldn't do it justice. So Dr. Patrice and Lady Lisa, can you go ahead and give your own bio so we don't miss a thing?
Well, I'm Lisa Gordon, and I'm here with my husband, Patrice Gordon, and I'm going to give you a little bit of information about me. In addition to being a professional networker, I'm a licensed master social worker, and my specialty is geriatric medical care. And besides working my global care bar business, I'm currently employed as an independent contractor with an agency for one of the largest healthcare system companies in America.
Wow, that made me feel dumb.
Oh, please.
That's a mouthful. He said it made him feel dumb.
Well,
don't even try it, Dr. Patrice.
I'm Patrice Gordon. I'm a native Nashvilleian, and my background, I graduated first and foremost from the original HBCU in the United States, Lincoln University in Pennsylvania, with a degree first in Spanish and a triple minor in Russian, public affairs, and Chinese. And then from there, I went to the University of Pittsburgh. I got a master's degree in public and international affairs. And then shortly after that, I did seminary, a PhD in Hebraics, studying the first 100 years of Christianity. And so I went from there, ended up in the federal government in the National Security and International Affairs Division of the General Accounting Office in Washington, D.C. during George Bush Sr.'s administration. I had top security clearance. I was actually sent all around the world to do audits. So I was a performance auditor, and I was auditing internationally federally funded programs. The last 20 years, and today I'm celebrating my 20th year anniversary as a linguist and the Foreign Language Lab Director at Tennessee State University here in Nashville. And then 4 years ago, there's that number 4 again, Wealth Builders. 4 years ago, I heard about Carrot Bars International. A month after I got in Carrot Bars, I heard about Mr. Top Best, found him on YouTube, and the rest is history. Back to you all.
Well, Miss Maxine Jones, I know you wanted the privilege of asking the first question of our power couple. Over to you.
Well, I just wanted to say, do you see why, Dr. Patrice, why we were not going to introduce you? Because we couldn't even remember all of that. But Dr. and Lady Lisa, can we chat?
Yes.
So let's start with the first question. What made you take the leap into network marketing?
Well, Miss Maxine, I am coming beside my husband. I've been with him in several different networking opportunities throughout the course of our marriage. We've been married now going on 24 years. So this is the first, Carrot Bars is the first business where I've been actively involved and not just a participant beside him and enjoying the accoutrements of him winning and the incomes and the trips and all that stuff. You know, you're just going around hobnobbing. I mean, I am actively working this business with him.
And I got involved in network marketing back in 1988. At the time, I was up in Maryland. And at that time, Pastor Pat Robertson had introduced this company called American Benefits Plus. And it was akin to the Big A for those that are in the industry. And so I leaped into network marketing because up until that time, I was a professional student. And, you know, and I decided that instead of immediately going into the workforce, I want to make a whole lot of money in a short period of time. So that was my initial involvement in network marketing. And I got bit by the bait, and I got hooked by the incentives, the trips, the commissions, and meeting people from all around the United States. And when I found my home at Wealth Builders and Karatbars International, I said, just like Dr. Steigerwald, this is the one.
Well, you know, Dr. Patrice and Lady Lisa, now this question is you may have had an adjustment or you may not have, because this is not your first network marketing environment. But Lady Lisa, you just said this is the first time you really actively jumped in and you're building a monster business, a monster team. So what is the biggest adjustment, if there was any adjustments that you've had to make now that you're making and building and working this team together? Because you're working this together as husband and wife, but really in essence, Lady Lisa, you have your own team, your own home-based business building. Dr. Patrice has his. Yes, one is upline to the other, but it's still individual. So what's different? You know, what dynamics have you worked out?
Miss Abrams, the biggest adjustment we have to make as a couple is how much table space each one of us gets now. Because my stuff is like all over the table. He's like, wait a minute, baby, move some of that stuff back. But it's just been so exciting. And he's just been so given in information, table space, resources, and giving of his time just to help me to become the leader he knows I can be. And I like how you put it, Miss Abrams. You say adjustments, if any, because some minor things that we had to tweak, it's just that they were just minor, because I'm coming aboard, and in my perspective, I think you see me as an asset to the team. So he is very given. So it's not any big adjustments at all.
Well, speak for yourself, okay? No, actually, I did.
Here comes the real deal.
Yeah, I had to make the adjustment more than she did, because I had to figure out a way to incorporate Lisa's large sponsorship base into mine, even though they were already in my organization. But I had to make the adjustment of personally reaching out to those people as well as my own people. So, you know, I first went with the 100 affiliates, and then she went after got her 100 affiliates. So we looked at, you know, now we're close to 250, 60 personals between ourselves, if not more. And so I had to begin to reach out to those people. I had to email everybody she brought into her organization. Hey, I'm Patrice. I'm Lisa's husband. and welcome to our team now. And if there's anything that I can do to assist you along with Lisa, that's one thing that I had to do. And the other adjustment is that I had to give her room to, I thought it was a little unfair on my part, because she joined a team that was already on the move. I was already moving into leadership, and she had a learning curve that was short. And I had to step back and allow her to personally introduce herself, get to know the leaders in Wealth Builders Worldwide and all of the other people in Karatbars. And that was the only really adjustments that had to be made, I guess, on our parts.
That was excellent. Wow.
Yeah. So that comes to our next question, and you touched on part of it, because we've watched Lady Lisa evolve from just being in the shadow and in the background to being a massive leader in the forefront. We've watched the timid voice like Dr. Patrice and Lisa. Now, Lady Lisa will take the mic first, and she will introduce her husband. And we watch how supportive you are to let her shine, because a lot of times women do not take the mic. So her leadership is so important, to see how she has transcended and evolved to the leader that she has become. So my question is, what are your individual roles for working your family business, and how have they evolved? Because this is how what we're talking about, how Lisa has evolved, but you started to touch on it. So I want you to just elaborate on that a little bit more.
Okay.
So we're talking about your individual roles as far as your family business, your team, and how they have evolved. Mm-hmm.
Okay. First of all, Ms. Maxine, I would like to say my growth and development, I'm so grateful for the support of my husband. But where I am today, I have to attribute that to Wealth Builders Worldwide. You and Miss Maxine, Mrs. Best, Sherry Brown, all the women in leadership, you ladies are dynamic, and I want to be just like you. Miss Maxine, I want to be as gracious as you are, so professional. Miss Abram, I want to be that lioness. I want to be quick on my feet. I want my brain to click and go into places and to think with that quickness. I mean, with Mrs. Best, that spitfire of knowing this and that and that and that critical eye to see. I mean, I am surrounded with so many talented women. And if you are willing to grow, you got to plug in. And that's what I committed to do. I was going to plug in. I was not going to use this guy right here, no, my husband, as the one to do anything for me that I could not get done for myself. And I'm telling you, I love our organization, because where I am today, I attribute it to Wealth Builders Worldwide and its leadership under the dynamic mentorship of Mr. Ty Best.
Yes, yes. And I have to add, ladies and everyone else, it is a collaborative work between the two of us when it comes to our roles, because our roles really aren't that different. We both talk to a lot of people, sign them up in carrot bars, and do our best to make as much money as we possibly can, and repeat the process over and over and over again. But going back to the map, but, you know, particularly with the three-step principle, you know, that came through the brilliance of Miss Valerie Best, along with the experience of Mr. Ty Best, to just basically tell people. So that's what we find ourselves doing. Our roles are to help people to get a business package, to get people on auto exchange, you know, and to get people to do their KYC documents. Outside of that, maybe a little operational differences by me being a person that's kind of interested in the other countries. I do focus a little bit more than Lisa on the international countries that Carrot Bars is in. So, but with respect to the roles, we basically have the same roles.
But I know, Dr. Patrice, that has to help with you speaking so many languages, and just for the sake of repeating it for those that just joined, how many different languages do you speak?
Wow. I speak between 5 to 6 languages. And, you know, I cheated. I went overseas. I lived in the Republic of China, where I learned Chinese. When I learned Portuguese, I was living in Mozambique. I was working for an amazing African-American self-help program called Africare. So I was based in Mozambique. They're a former Portuguese colony, so I had to go and learn Portuguese by me being involved in the Spanish world. I have a degree in Spanish. So now I do use my languages, but I don't want people to believe that you got to know a foreign language to be hugely successful in Carrot Bars. That's not true. the way it really is probably the person that doesn't speak all those other languages. They're probably getting more people enrolled than I am, because with the language, I can slow myself down accidentally by getting in too much engagement with them. But but Karatbars is in 124 plus countries, and it's important to reach those countries as well.
Now that our next question, because sometimes this can be a delicate situation when you're husband and wife. And that question is, how do you keep each other motivated versus, being overbearing? Look, did you make your calls today?
Accountability.
You got going on today?
Accountability.
How do you motivate each other?
Miss Abrams, that is such a good question, because the spring of 2018, we are going to be empty nesters.
Yeah.
So it's just going to be Patrice and myself and our Yorkie. And so we decided before I got active in Karatbars, okay, are we going to learn to shoot? I always want to go to the range, I wanted to learn. I wanted to ride a motorcycle. So I was telling my husband, I said, my testosterone levels are just getting crazy, okay? So I want to do some rough stuff. But now we have Karatbars. And I am so grateful because we dream more. Not that we didn't dream before, but we're dreaming bigger. We make date nights into going into affluent areas. That's our date night. We go.
Wow.
We don't do anything but sit and have coffee in those venues. That's what we do. We meet people. We talk to people. We like to go house hunting, looking places we want to go for vacations, and we do a lot of that together because it's just going to be us. So we're taking advantage of that right now.
Yeah. And I'll also add, once she figured out the commissions tab in her back office,
Look
she
out.
got real motivated. There was a period, Miss Abram and Miss Maxine, when I was able to hide stuff from her, but she got real smart. And so when you are, when you're married, you have to share your information with your spouse. They need to know your back office. They need to know, because it's a family business. It's not my team and her team. It's our team. But we have the amazing privilege to meet at our round table every single evening.
In the boardroom.
In the kitchen. And that's the motivation starts there. Now, I will say this. There's so much information in Karatbars that no one person knows it all. So there are times when Lisa and I are listening to you all on the power call, and I heard something and she didn't, or she heard something and I didn't. And then when we meet that night, I'll bring something up and she's like, wow, so they said that? I said, yeah. And then I'll do the same thing. So we motivate each other by giving each other updates on what's going on in our, in the business, in Karatbars world, in Wealth Builders, obviously. So that's the way that we keep each other inspired, just by having that daily, consistent contact with one another. And I'm telling you, network marketing is ideal for married couples, because outside of, us being involved in the ministry as pastors, and her being a professional in the medical community, and me being an academic, nothing brought us closer together than network marketing and building a business. And that's the truth.
True. That is closer than ministry.
Yeah.
Wow.
Really. Because we're believers. Okay. So that's who we are 24 hours a day. But, sometimes that can get a little hairy because we're looking after the needs and taking care of other people. And sometimes in the wake of doing that, you neglect one another.
That's true.
But when you share a business together, you have to connect, you have to communicate. And we're grateful to God for Karatbars and Wealth Builders Worldwide.
Ty Best made a statement, I think it was last week, about couples and network marketing. And he was saying why that whole couple scenario is so dynamic is back in the day, you know, you had to go into people's homes. Well, here we really don't have to, but guess what? With our Zoom platforms and our technology, you still can present a united front in someone's home. But he said what was always also a part of the draw was when a husband and wife walked through the front door and they sat and they talked with another husband and wife as a team. It did a lot of things. Like for that wife that never gets to go anywhere with her husband, she's looking at like, wait a minute, they do that together? That's what I want to do. I mean, I would love to be able to go with my husband or even just to get out of the house. And if she's not taking the lead, she might want to dress up, put on a nice dress, fix up her
out the house,
to walk through the door with her husband. With her husband. And it's something that you're doing together. That is so when he said that, I thought, you know what, that is so true. That is a draw, because sometimes husbands and or wives or both, they want to get up off the couch because it's the mundane. Mindless TV has nothing that's beneficial, but to do something that's bringing money into the home, and when you're wrapped and you're representing a worthwhile product, that means so much more to you. That means so much more. Now, Miss Maxine Jones, I know you have another question.
Yes, but I also wanted to talk with them, and I could relate to them being empty nesters, because then you have all this time on your hands and you're not going separate ways. Now you have time to do things together. And when we had the little breakdown before, and you were talking about you do the dreaming, and so what I did was just talk to our Facebook friends about dreaming big, because that's one of the things that Mr. Ty Best and Mr. Valerie Best always encourages us to do, is to dream big. So I was sharing what you guys do as far as you go look in a mansion and sit there and visualize. So that dreaming part, now you're dreaming together, is so important because it makes you even more cohesive.
But you know,
so my last question to you,
before you run to that last question, since you brought up something they said, it just popped right back in my mind. Lady Lisa, Dr. Patrice, you said sometimes you go on date night to affluent areas, affluent restaurants. I never thought of that, because what that does is that puts you in the environment of other affluent couples. Yes. And you two look well, dress well, look like you just love each other like there's no tomorrow. So I never thought
I saw you, Lady Lisa, with that car.
Yes, we were in
I saw you with that car
area.
Oh yes, I like that. Now that's dreaming big. Take
I saw that Bentley on Facebook.
Dreamless? Oh, absolutely. I saw that black car. I was like, oh, look at Lady Lisa.
So if you're not friends with Lisa Gordon,
you're doing.
If you're not friends with Lisa Gordon and Dr. Patrice Gordon on Facebook, you have to do a friend request. Absolutely. Because you're gonna see they're out, they're vendors. They had a table full of CDs and books, Harold Seitz's books, the Case for Gold book. They had the gold on display. You get to see a dynamic couple working the business together.
Ms. Abram, before we go to the last question, you just hit on something. Let's talk CDs. Lady Lisa is the one who inspired me to start handing out CDs. Lady Lisa would be at a truck stop. She'd be at a restaurant, at the grocery store. She is armed and dangerous. She is packed with her CDs. And that inspired me, because you know what, the CDs, she actually is getting results. So guys, the CDs work. Get those CDs, burn as many as you possibly can. We have some four really good ones, but get those CDs out. Now when I hand out a CD, people are saying to me, oh, thank you. I mean, they look at it like it's a gift. Like, oh, I can have this? Absolutely. And eventually, like you said, in your car, at your university, they're going to listen to that CD. It might not be always right away, But eventually they're going to get that CD out and say, what is this about? And they'll listen to it. And that's when you can follow up with them. You got it.
Miss Maxine.
So, all right.
Maxine,
yes.
I have to share this that, we keep in contact with each other during the day.
Okay.
So an hour might pass and we haven't talked to each other, and then we'll call each other. And one day I missed her for like an hour and a half. And I was thinking, where is she? Because she drives everywhere. And come to find out, when it comes to those CDs and passing them out to anybody, the next time I heard from her, she had just left our local funeral home and had signed up the undertaker, his assistant. She signed them up in the funeral home and gave them both CDs, and they're in our organization now.
Who does that? Wealth builders worldwide.
Gladiators.
Who does that? We are taught so well. I'm just saying. Well, all right. Dr. Patrice and Lady Lisa, we know that leaders are readers. We're taught that all the time by Mr. Time Valley Best. So what books would you recommend for network marketing partners?
Well, I'm going to let you handle that, Patrice. But right now, this is the book that I've been digesting, and not just reading, but listening to, because I work remote. So I'm in my car. They say I have a work from home position. I have a work from parking lot position. I have a work from Starbucks position. I have a work from the back of the rural woods of
work on wheels position.
Exactly. Work from automobile. But I've been listening to Eric Worre, and I really like him. And this is the reason why I like him. GoPro is because he tells you what to do. But he doesn't give you and tell you why. And that's where WBW and the leadership, they got the why. You plug into that why daily,
yes,
he can tell you the what. And the two combined together to me is TNT. So I would recommend that for couples getting started, because I'm just getting started, to some degree. Enemies of Success. My husband and I, we read that together at night, because I'm right now dealing with so many different personalities and different things. I'm ready to pull out my old psychology books. He said, no, we're not going to pull out. He said, no, we're going to pull out Mr. Best book. Look, go to chapter 4. This is what you're dealing with.
Yes. He breaks it down for you. You just find the chapter.
Of course, we would definitely add 103 Ways to Fail in Network Marketing. I love the subtitle of that book. Most people don't think of the subtitle. It's a guide to your success. So we love that book because it's practical, and it tells us a lot of pitfalls to avoid in our network marketing business. And so that's another book. Of course, we've got the classic Think and Grow Rich. What I love about Think and Grow Rich is that it is one of the main books that has sponsored so many millionaires around the whole world, and it elevates a person's awareness. Then one of my personal favorites is the one by Wallace D. Wattles, The Science of Getting Rich. I really love that book. And Lisa and I also, we have How to Win Friends and Influence People. Those are really powerful books. So those 6 books are the books, the main ones that we really stay focused on right now in our business.
So Dr.
Those
Patrice,
are excellent.
Excellent. Thank you. Sorry, Mrs. Jones, Maxine. Dr. Patrice and Lady Lisa, for a couple starting out, let's say we have a husband and we have a wife, and the husband is saying, my wife just is not really, she's not opposed, but she's not doing the business with me. Or it could be vice versa. It could be the wife saying, my husband supports me, but he doesn't want to do the business. What advice can you give that person?
Miss Abrams, I was there. and I'm gonna give you the experience. What my husband didn't do to me, he never forced me. He never shoved it down my throat that, you're not doing it. We're not gonna succeed in this. I have dreams. You're not doing. He never did that. My husband, like, baby, we're going to Atlanta. Atlanta? Oh yeah. Look, Miss Abrams, he teased me. Here's a car. Go get you something cute. So he was clever. So he was really clever in his actions. So I tell men out there, become clever and become creative, but don't be critical if your wife is not there yet. And I am so glad in those other organizations that my husband was in, it was no debate as far as me becoming active, because I knew once I became active, I know my work ethic. I know where I came from. I know my past history, and I know I'm going to make it. And what I put my hands to do, I believe the Lord is going to bless me in it. When I become diligent, he blesses the hands of the diligent. So I said, okay, he never was critical or anything, but I'm so glad that I didn't touch any of those businesses, because I came to this business, Carrot Bars. And for those husbands out there, become clever, leave your wife alone, love her up, take her to the nicest place you can find, and tell her, baby, we're going to make it. This is what we're going to do. This is where I'm going to take you. This is where you're going to shop. I'm just telling the stuff you told me. And I was like, we're going to do all that stuff. Yes.
Well, on behalf of all of my brethren out there, husbands, make sure you purchase your wife's prepaid MasterCard.
Yeah, he did that.
And sign her up.
Yeah. There you go.
Depending on the relationship, the bliss or the toxicity, it'll tell you what to do. But I would advise couples, as soon as you get in Carrot Bars, you need to go ahead and sign up your mate, even without asking them. This is just my personal opinion, because what's going to happen is that your business is going to grow. It's going to grow fast. And if you're not careful, you'll look up and your significant other will be 5 or 6, 7 levels deep. Yeah. And they're going to miss out on all that volume. So since we've made our spouses our beneficiary, why am I making you my beneficiary if I'm not signing you up in the business anyway? Absolutely. So and so that's another thing. Now, my wife, whenever a spouse is not excited, there's a reason. You got to begin to explore, what is the reason that my spouse is apathetic towards network marketing or me being out of the house? And for me, it had to do with the fact that there were some businesses that took advantage of my skill and my mediocre celebrity. And in the wake of that, they didn't treat me right. And when they crossed me, they crossed her. And she made an inner vow. I'm not gonna have nothing to do with your friends, these businesses, these people. So that was one of the reasons, Miss Abram, that was one of the reasons why she was apprehensive. So I learned from Mr. Ty Best
that was the game changer.
That was a game changer. What you do is you go and be hugely successful on your own, save up more money than your spouse has ever witnessed you save, and then you get their attention, and then work their business while you're working yours. So by the time that prepaid MasterCard come to the house, it's got money on it. And then you turn it over to your spouse and say, "Yeah, honey, look what I got you."
You will get their attention at that point.
And that's
an excellent strategy, Dr. Patrice.
Definitely is. And that's just words of wisdom. Bottom line, initially, what you said was so powerful, Dr. Patrice. There's a reason that spouse is apprehensive in the beginning. How many have we tried and we gave it 30 days, 60 days, and simply stopped, went back to watching TV? where our spouse saw us walk through the door. This is it. This is the next big thing. We're gonna, but couldn't turn off the TV. And then they're looking at them like, okay, we got 3 more weeks with this one. But
yeah, this one going to last.
You have to grow, and you have to let them see you grow. Let them see you truly show your belief in what you have your hands on, and soon they'll be saying, hey, how much money did we make this week?
Yeah.
What about my position? Yeah, it'll be, well, what about
be successful?
Exactly. It'll be, what about my position?
Got their attention.
That is so
like,
true.
Where's mine? Where's my money? You know, where's my card?
Well, I tell you, I'm so happy, Dr. Patrice, that you referenced our senior partner and he's our business partner. He's our mentor. Yes. He and his wife, Ty and Valerie Best, they are the example of a husband and wife working together. And I'm going to give a quick story because I know they're watching. They love Can We Chat Now. Just this morning alone on the power call, Mr. Ty Best, he made a wonderful announcement, but he gave a great analogy on the pre-call. He just, wow. And I forget what it was. And then he goes, here's Valerie. And she took the phone and well, you said what I said. She goes, that's what I said I was going to say.
She says that. She gets so annoyed. She goes, you said everything that I wanted to say.
You know, he listens to her. And he's like, that sounds good. And it becomes his. See, one team in one accord, and they show us couple power because some of their stories of what they went through as a couple, he freed her first. You know, she's free by 32, and he was free by 40. It took another 8 years, and he was free because she worked hard to free her husband at that point. But that was an experience that changed their life. It made them free people and their sons free people in America. So what I want to do briefly, I want to do a quick unveiling of one of the announcements that Mr. Ty Best made today. And this is our beautiful Wealth Builders Worldwide.
I wish we had a drum roll.
Drum roll. Gold Gladiator card. Gold Gladiator card. Now, just like Carrot Bars has a lofty mission. Well, look, Wealth Builders Worldwide. See, one thing Mr. Ty Best believes, you must have a dream factor in anything if you want it to grow. And our mission is to provide tools required to help people achieve their dreams. And that encompasses Wealth Builders Worldwide because Dr. Patrice, you and I both can attest to, we have adopted Wealth Builders Worldwide.
That's right, Miss Abram, that's right.
Our team. Go ahead, Dr. Patrice. Tell me what made you adopt it.
I knew that Carrot Bars was a different type of opportunity. And the skills that I had from previous opportunities, they did not necessarily transfer right over into Carrot Bars. I needed to really increase my learning index. And so that's the reason why I sought out Mr. Best, and he is the best. Their family is the best.
Amen.
Carrot Bars is the best.
That's the
Wealth Builders Worldwide is the best.
and Dr. Patrice, when did you find out that Lady Lisa grew up not too far from the Best family?
Now, this is amazing because, you know, I always say
his homegirl. Yeah.
I always say God is in this business. And I don't say that just because I'm a pastor, but I really believe that the hand of God is behind this movement to get people emancipated in their time and in their finances globally, because there's just so much oppression and so much control of people. So anyway, long story short, as soon as I found out about Mr. Ty Best, I was on YouTube and I saw a video, and he reminded me of like a high school football coach. I felt like every time I listened to him, he was talking directly to me. And so I called him up, and, you know, I I loved Mr. Best from the moment that I spoke with him. And then so I wanted to be a part of Wealth Builders so bad, Miss Abram. I went to GoDaddy.com and I created a domain called wealthbuildersworldwideaffiliated.com.
Wow.
Because I was telling Mr. Best, I'm affiliated with you. And then I looked up and I found out that I was already received in the family. And this is what I love about Carrot Bars. It is a family. You know, and tonight has been a little different because we have focused primarily on married couples. But you don't have to be married to be hugely successful in Carrot Bars. But I will tell you something. The couples, when we look at Mr. Michael and Miss Manisha Dalco, when we look at Sherry and Willie Brown, when we look at Rodney and Cindy Berger and you know, Shirley and Britt, and it goes on and on and on. These couples really inspire all of us. And with Wealth Builders Worldwide in particular, I'm telling you, I found out about the relationship between my wife and the Best family because I was talking to him on the phone. I got off the phone and I said, honey, I was just talking to this man. He's from your hometown. I'm going to let her take over. I said, his name is Mr. Todd Best. What did you say then?
And I said, Todd Best? I said, the Best family? Because Miss Abrams, Mr. Best, yes, he is several years older than me, but Mr. Best was always in the newspaper because of his basketball skills. Mr. Best always was in the newspaper. You know, and we come, Newport News, yes, it's wide, but it's small in a sense. Everybody knows his family, his mom, his sisters. And I'm telling you, Mr. Best is a legend in Newport News. He really is. Yes, he is. And when he told me he met and talked with someone in the business and leadership from Newport News, Virginia, I was walking in the kitchen, my feet, I was like, skirt! Newport News. It was, man, and it's been history. I mean,
I always joke, Lisa, because one thing I do know, having married into somebody from Newport News, Newport Nupians, people from Newport News, they are a tribe unto themselves. They remind me, they're almost like the Gullah people from South Carolina. They are close-knit. They all know one another, and they all treat each other like family. And that's what we see exhibited every day on the power call coming from Mr. Todd and Miss Valerie Best.
Right, exactly. Well, you know, we started late, so we ended up going a little late because we had some technical difficulties. But you know what? We were not going to let that stop us. We were going to get that straight.
Not.
They went to another computer, the whole 9 yards, because
not happening this week. No.
Dr. Patrice and Lady Lisa, you know, we had to have you on. You know, we had to have you on.
It's been our pleasure to have you on.
Yeah, and I'm so it was just a privilege and a pleasure.
For both of us, it's an absolute privilege and an honor.
Yes, and Lady Lisa, we look forward to you taking the mic again at the next Let's Go weekend, because when you took that mic, Lady Lisa, and you started speaking, and that voice was so dynamic, I was looking across the stage at Lisa.
I remember looking at this like total transformation. It was like, what happened to the small voice? And you just, it just came out. And we were looking at each other like, wow.
You know, we are so proud of you. I'm telling you, it's such a privilege. And Dr. Patrice, I tell you, I like you. I bought one of those domain names. It was called Wealth Builders International. I had to have something that said Wealth Builders, you know.
Yes.
But you know what? I don't even use that because, and when I first started doing the overview and first started doing a lot of leadership things with Wealth Builders, I used to say at Wealth Builders Worldwide, they have a wonderful mission. Their mission. And I would, and then Mr. Ty Best called me up on the phone. He said, Miss Abram, you do realize you're segregating yourself from us. I said, well, I'm not actually. He says, look, we're all wealth builders.
That's right.
You don't have to be in our downline. to want to build wealth and be a wealth builder.
Amen.
Wealth builders is a mission. He said, I want you to own that. I want you to say, our mission is to provide individuals worldwide with the tools required to enhance their lives, achieve their
massive wealth,
and build massive wealth.
build massive wealth.
So, Miss Maxine Jones, I know you want to close out thanking the Gordons. I want to thank you personally from the bottom of my heart. And then Miss Jones, can you announce next week's topic?
Oh, absolutely. Well, Dr. Patrice and Lady Lisa, it's been our absolute pleasure to have you on. We got to have you on again, so we've got to pick up some more topics. But it has been such a wonderfully interactive, show today. And we just want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts for taking the time out and being on Can We Chat Here. So thank you so much. Facebook friends, this is Dr. Patrice Gordon and Lady Lisa Gordon, and we are honored to have them. So next week's topic will be, we're going to feature two individuals. One of them we call the quiet giant as far as network marketing, and that would be Miss Valerie Smith.
Wow.
She is a quiet giant, but
they're building a monster team.
Yes.
And Pastor Patricia Cherry.
Woo!
Wow, that's good.
We are excited, and she's going to be talking about her position in coming into network marketing, and also like you guys being a pastor as well and wearing many hats, multiple hats, and how she got started with both of us worldwide. So we are excited. We got some really great lineups for you guys. So we're looking forward to Can We Chat Here?
You know what, Miss Maxine Jones, you forgot to mention the topic. The topic is,
oh gosh, it's
if I can do it.
Oh, if I can do it, you can do it. And we
that's real good.
Right, because of the diversity of Miss Valerie Best and Pastor Cherry, but
Valerie Smith
can do this. That's right, Valerie Smith. Thank you. But anyone can do this. People looking at you will say, "Oh no, I can't do that because it's Dr. Patrice and Lady Lisa and Miss Abram. She's a corporate person, But yes, anyone can.
If I can do it, you can do it.
You can do it. You don't know, you can do it.
Sure.
So
Well,
we'll be chatting about that.
All right, everybody, we are going to end this. It's been such a pleasure. Oh, I'm so happy we did not let technical difficulties.
No, we persevered.
Oh.
We persevered.
All right, everybody, have a wonderful, wonderful evening.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.